Post it.
All right, we are live. Welcome, Tuesday, January 7th. And we're going
Yes,
live
yes.
tonight. We got a special edition tonight, don't we, Tracker?
We do. We're doing typically on a Tuesday we do the triumvirate, but tonight we are doing the pentaverate, and it's going to feature the talents of Real Blonde Broker, Hiding Out, the Great Mattsby, myself, Tesla Tracker, and our imperious ringleader, the Cantonese Meow. Cantonese cat will be there.
The
I told
Canton
him to get
Meow.
some beauty sleep last night. He was up until like after midnight still posting. It's like, go to sleep. You need to get better. It's not like the orders to go to sleep and a bunch of hearts and X's and O's to show
Yeah.
I meant it. All right, everybody. So wow, where would you like to start, Matt? Should we do the? Looks like you're ready to do the thing with
Yeah.
the
Yeah, we can do
indices.
the indices and Bitcoin and see all that stuff. So we'll start with IWM here. And with IWM, it got rejected yesterday by the 786, the 226.74, which is not a surprise, right? It just went back down to retest the 219 and it held perfectly. And now it's climbing the wall back up. So 226.74 is the next target to close candles above. But in the meantime, it can come back down a little bit lower to retest levels too before trying to break resistance. So it's just part of the normal process of trying to go higher. So nothing to see there really. QQQ still going higher, right? Still above the conversion line, still above everything here. And we can go to SPY. Also, same situation with that. Still above the 1.618, the 585, and the 594.79 is also your conversion line, and it's also still above that as well. So day over day, week over week, all indices are looking good. And even the IWM is still recovering a little bit. So nothing really to worry about with that at all. And Bitcoin, it went back to resistance. So the 102.076, it wicked above it yesterday. I did make a post on X about it yesterday, and no change, right? So support, a lot of fear down here, a lot of optimism up here as usual. So this is how markets work. Nobody, the fear makes people not want to buy down here, and the optimism makes people too excited. But in actuality, it's just in a range and it needs more time, I think, before breaking into highs for Bitcoin.
It's hilarious how thin that line is between optimism and pessimism on the
Yeah.
chart.
It works all the time, and you see it with Tesla too. I mean, I guess I'll just jump into Tesla too, since people are worried about it. Really, with the downgrade and the Nvidia conference and stuff like that.
There's
Uh,
a downgrade from Wells Fargo. I hardly call it that competent or salient.
yeah,
They're
it's
just
just
doing
a
their thing. They're just like the next on the list. Like, okay, go sweep the leg. No mercy.
go sweep the leg, Karate Kid.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, with Tesla, this is still a super bullish chart. Just there's really no worries at all with this chart, and it's if you just look at this, how the candle did wick down to the 886 last week, and now it's at 403 again. Yes, or right now pre-market, and yesterday it went down to like 401, and is still in the vicinity of the previous all-time high candles, right? Like there was only one candle last time that went to the all-time high, and the rest of them were in this zone. Like you can see, there's a wick here that went to 399, the wick here that went to 400, the wick here that went to 402, and that's all that price is doing now. It's just retesting all those wicks that you saw in the past. So, for anybody that says this chart is doomed, well, I have a bridge to sell you, I guess, right? No. You're gullible. No.
Indeed.
But it's just a very bullish chart, right? It's just a very bullish chart. And it's just building a base on top of the previous all-time high zone, not price, but zone. And it's just getting strength to go to its next levels into the 400s, 500s, and beyond.
Yeah. Just a quick show note. We do read all your comments. We love your comments. I'm sorry we don't always read out your shout outs because we get such great ones. Like from CRCR. Hi, guys. Greetings from Ireland. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much. And I
Oh,
do
thank you
see we
very
do see
much.
your request for Fubo. Fubo, we're gonna hit that one. I'm gonna hit that one for sure. While we're talking about Tesla and Bitcoin, let me bring up my Tesla and Bitcoin real quick here. Oh, where is my Bitcoin? Why are you not right? BTC. All right. So I've got a chart for Bitcoin. Here we go. I made this lovely, 5 waves up here, and then a tight ABC, and it's just trying to get back to this is Matt's important 127.2% fib extension level from this 91,000 bottom back towards the 108,364, and this is how much farther it wants to go. And I just came up with like, oh, there's like a nice ABC right in here, and that's what it's doing right now. We're in this turn just for the short term. It hasn't hit my A target yet. It's just building a base right around here, around this 123.6 fib level that I've got. So this is a fib extension of mine, 100,761. You can see we haven't had a candle move too far under it yet. It's just going to hang around here. In fact, it might even, I had a triangle drawn here. It might not even hang around for the triangle. It could do this for a little bit and just kind of bounce in this triangle before it breaks out. Or it could just do maybe this was the liquidity grab already done and it's just ready to break out. So just watch for a new higher high. Once it gets over 102, 103, I think it'll start moving really fast again, just like it did down here. It'll start moving really fast again to test this 100%, all-time high, and then start making extensions above that. And then the longer term, because in case you haven't been looking at my charts, yeah, I'm looking for, I don't know which one. Oh gosh, 178,000 this cycle. That's my target for it. I mean, it could extend to a little higher, but that's my minimum target for the this whole 5-wave cycle right now. And then Tesla, again on the shorter term. Let's see. So yesterday, it did get over the weekly pivot. It ran for a little bit to the daily R1, but then was shut back down. Fell back through the weekly pivot and came back to touch the, I'm sorry, this is the monthly pivot. And it came back to rest around the weekly pivot. And so now we're just under the weekly pivot. On the 4-hour chart, you can see it's very much just stuck between the 4-hour Ichimoku conversion line under the baseline. So baseline is resistance, resistance. Conversion line is support, support, support. So this is really bullish for it to possibly just turn the page here on this. So again, your levels still to watch are 405.19 for the weekly pivot and 412.89 for the monthly center pivot. That's all month long. It's just the beginning of January now. So, could it be resistance for a little bit, maybe, or if it could just get over it, be support and hold it, then we can start testing some exciting stuff higher and higher. There you go, Tesla and Bitcoin.
Yeah. So don't worry about Tesla. It's just fine. Just fine. And anything in the, like I said last week, am I the only one hoping for 400s or 390s? I think that is the optimal zone for accumulation, right? 390s and 400. That is not changed at all from last week. So therefore, it's good. I'm going to do, actually, before we do the requests, I just want to do Nvidia.
Please.
Just because some interesting developments are happening there with the chart. So we can see that yes, they had their conference or whatever you call it last night, the presentation, and look what it's doing, right? The 2.272 Fibonacci is 152.38, and it looks like it has potential to maybe open above it, right, for the daily candle at least, not the weekly candle. Open above it for the day. So we're going to keep an eye on this level for the whole week. It's never closed any weekly candle above it. So this could be a bullish scenario for the future. Finally, for Nvidia, it's what it's been waiting for the whole time. And if this can ever get flipped to its support, then it's going to go much higher, even into the 200s. So Good developments. I did buy a lot of NVDL in the 60s, so this is going to be a nice little ride for myself. So therefore, and some of my Patreon members as well, because we were buying it in the group. And this is looking very, very good for the future. So we're going to keep an eye on this 152.38 right here for a continuation higher.
Yeah. If you guys haven't heard us say it already a million times, 2025 is going to be a banner year for the markets. Banner year.
You'll hear more about it on the triumvirate or the quintavirate or whatever you want to call it tonight.
Or pentavirate. That'll be the main focus for the show tonight. 2025.
Pentavirate. Yeah.
Let's see. I've got Fubo. While you get your next thing ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's Fubo TV. One of my subscribers was asking about it a month ago. It's like, oh yeah, I don't think I like this thing too much. I mean, you look at just kind of a lifetime downtrend. I mean, it is kind of building a base, but at the same time, like nobody seems very interested in it. Oh, what's this? Disney is interested in it? That was the news last night after hours. Disney is going to be doing a thing with Fubo, and so now suddenly there's a bunch of interest. And on the monthly chart, you can see it's up to 63% already. Interest in the institutional interest, and once it can push the retail down, then this thing can really run. It hasn't really even gotten started yet. Basically, if I just look back to this price right here in December of 2021, then of 2021, it hit 62.29 when it was trying to make a bid to get out, and then it fell back lower. Well, now it just has to get back there again. So here is your getting back there ABC. For the 382.236, and I think it's going to extend higher than the 618 and try to get back up in the zone. So I'm looking for at least the 78.6% at $49.17. And you can see the sell order block is already erected. This whole wide zone above the 618, all the way just slightly higher than the 88.6. So market makers are expecting to be able to buy down here back to retail up here. So get ready. Yeah, it's currently trading in pre-market for $5.75. I bought some after hours after I heard the news and looked at my chart. It's like, oh yeah, this thing is going to keep going up. So my cost is somewhere around $5, and now it's at $5.77. And it's just going to keep on going. Oh yeah, 100% on the 8-hour chart, 4-hour chart. Yeah, they're just buying this thing like crazy because look where it's going. From $5.70 to $24.39 next. Or a quick info line, almost 400% higher. So of course, expect the B wave here to foreshadow as resistance first. So it's going to have to build a base under 1543 before it can then reach up for 24.39, then fall back to it, and then go on higher. So yeah, Fubo looks like it's going to be really interesting. And there you go. Matt, back to you.
Alrighty, what else we got working on here? So I see some more requests here. Grabby hat. Yeah, I'll take a look at some grabby.
I've got a chart for grab. Let me do my chart real quick since I'm already here.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Grab, same thing. I'm just looking for a retrace back to its all-time high of $18.11. It IPO'd way over here in this like $11, $12 range. Ran up to 18. Couldn't get it. Got driven down, but higher than the 50% of its IPO, but could not make a new higher high. So the market makers sent it back down to the 219 was the all-time low. And so just trying to get from 219 back to 1811 gives us the 382, 236, 618, and the 618 looks pretty good right here, looking back in the history. So I'd say $8.27 next, but do expect resistance. It'll have a hard time getting over $6. But once it does, $8.27 back to $6 and then up to $12.03. Feel free to take your screenshot right there if you want. And you can see plenty of institutional investors buying in here down here. 86% bankers and whales and no retail on the weekly chart.
Yeah, and on my chart, the reason why it really got rejected was because of the 200-week moving average and my 45-degree angle right there. It did not want to go any higher. So now where is it going? Well, the possibility is maybe just more sideways in the meantime, simply because if you look at the Ichimoku cloud, we can see that it's still now even getting rejected by the conversion line, the 499. So everything, the cloud is way down here, the baseline is way down here. So I think the trajectory, yeah, it's just going to go down maybe for a while, right? It could go for a while before it really wants to go up. So I think there could be some kind of just a sideways to down until it goes higher.
Is 416 where it kind of keeps going down to?
Well, the baseline is around 435, yeah. So I think in that direction, that vicinity, I think the mid to low fours is probably going to be the minimum target for grab.
Yeah, I can see that. I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
If it can get, if it can touch that weekly Ichimoku baseline, that's definitely start buying it again there.
Yeah,
You don't have to sell now. You can just hold and average down.
yeah. I think trying to buy this right now. I see somebody did buy it at 485 yesterday. I mean, you can dollar cost average on the way down, I think would be fine, but I think right now it's just losing momentum. As you can see, once it loses one support level, which it did with the baseline already, then sometimes it just wants to go lower. But we'll see. We'll see how the week really closes, right? Because pre-market it is 495 and 499 is the baseline. So if it actually can close the week back above that, so that conversion line, if it can close the week back above it, then there's a potential to break above. But this 200-week moving average is pretty aggressively downward sloping, so it probably might need more time to just flatten out before really trying to break free. So I don't know if it's really ready to break above this 200-week moving average yet. That's all.
All right, I got TMDX on deck here.
All right.
I had this request before. TMDX, it had a nice run up to $177.33, and that was the wave 5 top, or at least, it was actually, this is just the wave 1 top. So this is the wave 1. It was 5 waves up, but now that becomes a larger degree wave 1. And then when we just hit everything, December 30th, down to $58.27. So now I'm just watching for an ABC retrace back towards this previous high. So that would give us back to right. You can see right here where the sell order block is between 107 and 134. So look for it to reject off of $107 first, push it back down under the 236, then be able to make it through the sell order block to about 132.54. But in general, it should follow this pattern. I'd say 764, 382, 1382, 100%, 232. So yeah, good things are coming for TMDX. It's just that the bankers and whales will just let retail fight it out amongst themselves to push price down for wave 2 down. So there you go. You can take a screenshot if you want for that. Let me just adjust this a little bit.
I got a TMDX.
It's going to take a little bit of time. Oh yeah. Oh, please go right ahead.
Yeah, so it's going to take time for sure, but the good thing is on this chart, the 200-week was finally retested again, and it did get that liquidity underneath. So this could be all the pain you see, but right now it's still underneath the conversion line. It's underneath the arc here, but it reclaimed this angle as well, so that's a good development. So that's going to be the goal now. Maintain this angle here around 73. Just keep building a base on top of it, then I think it can do something like maybe this, just slowly throughout time, get more and more bullish, right? Just go slowly build up this angle like that, and so on and so forth. So it's not dead by any means. Market structure on the high time frame. This is a higher low from here, higher low from there, right? So a series of higher highs, higher lows on the high time frame. So it's fine, right? But it's not going to explode higher either, because there's still a ton of resistance above current price. So let's just take it one day, 1 week at a time, and slowly recover. So I'd like to see $73. Maybe even if it comes back down to retest there, like 70, 71, at least that hold, right? At least this low over here hold. And if it can, then I think it's going to go higher over time.
Very nice. Let's see.
So we got.
I see Novavax request. I've got Novavax on deck.
Oh yeah,
here.
I got, since I'm up, I have a Novavax right here. So Invax, we can see 994 pre-market. What's getting in the way of it right now? You guessed it, it's an angle. That 45-degree angle is still in the way of this stock, right? And then you got the 236, the 1032 Fibonacci right there. So it is getting more bullish, right? It was a two. I would consider this for Novavax. This is two consecutive successful backtest of the 100, right? Even though it did close down here, but there must have been a lot of liquidity in this zone here, a lot of liquidity. So this is good, right? Nice little 100-week moving average backtest. It is kind of rounding out. It's going to be starting to maybe do an uptrend pretty soon. So this is going to be good for the future, I think. So it's just part of the process of getting more and more bullish. And I think once it's above 1032, then I think it's got a clear shot for like the 12s and the 13s. So this is more and more bullish, and one step at a time.
Yeah, this one you're going to be patient for. My Invax chart on the smaller scale, here's an 8-hour chart, 8-hour candlesticks. It did, after striking 27.25 recently and then pressing down to $7.25. Now it can, if it makes no lower lows, it'll be in a recovery back to the 618. So, and you can already see there's like two bands of sell order blocks waiting to catch the A and the B. So it'll be resistance all the way from 1070 through 1262. Then it'll pop up to 1388. And then at 1489, it turns the corner back down to support. And then finally, I kind of want to extend it. Well, we can check back later and see what the sell order blocks look like in a few weeks, but that's for in a couple of weeks. They don't even have any sell order blocks put up here yet. Maybe if I go to a different scale. No, they're just not doing that much with it yet. And you can see on the weekly chart, CDX Plus shows it's still 30% retail, so there's still a lot of retail involvement, selling pressure, just the institutions selling back to retail that think that this is a good time to. Yeah, it isn't a bad time to buy in, but you have to be patient. That's all. There you go. And then, larger degree, if NVAX can ever get off the ground, that's why people keep coming back to NVAX, because it does have this cyclical aspect of the chart where it has had times where it made tremendous gains. And look, it scraped its way. It's all the way off the bottom before, from $10.50 to $331. I mean, there must have been some reverse splits in there somewhere, but still, they're just looking for lightning to strike a fourth time. 1, 2, 3, yeah, a fourth time here. So, maybe it's worth holding in case it Fubos.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I mean, it does have potential for sure. It's getting a little bit more bullish over time. So I think it's possible. Let me just do NU here. I think I have an arrow here. I was talking about this 1053 level before, and it held, right? So the 886, it went down there to do some liquidity grabs and make a higher low, and now it's recovering a little bit. So I think ever since it lost all the support, I think I was on the show talking about how it wanted to go lower and lower, and that's exactly what it did. But I think the majority of the pain is out of the equation now, and we can see that price can have the opportunity to go within the cloud now, maybe to the 1175, and just stay in this range for some time, right? I don't really see it breaking free of this cloud anytime soon because there's a lot of resistance above. So I can see it just do something like this maybe for some time, maybe allowing this 100-week moving average to catch up to price over time in order to get there. So as long as it holds this cloud right here, I think it'll be fine. But if it does start to break through this cloud as support, then I think it's going to go lower. But in the meantime, I think most of it is already baked into price, right? So I think it has potential to go back to the $12 zone, but not sure if it's really ready to break free of that zone just yet.
I've got a new chart as well. Mine looks like it's ready to transform, perhaps. So off of the all-time low of $3.26, it made where are you? A higher high of $8.29, and then a higher low of 661. And I built this chart off of those numbers. But what I'm starting to see is that maybe this whole thing might be already ready to make this a larger degree 1, 2. In fact, actually kind of did a 1, 2 right here, didn't it? So sticking with this chart, it's basically just did an extended wider of the wave 4 here, because the wave 2 was super short, right? So the wave 4 is going to be longer. But once it does get back up here, it should aim for $18.59 next, or what price is right now, about 67% higher. Now but like I said, it could decide to transform, and that would basically make this, let's call this the wave 1 top, and this the wave 1 bottom, and then you get this new set of fibs. Let me just pull right to there. And so off of 1018, it'd go 20, 15 something I can't read, $28, $23, and then almost, $39 basically. There you go. And so that could be what it's building into, possibly. And see, look, even that makes sense for the earlier wave 5 to then transform into the 1, 2 for this part after it makes an ABC retrace back down to test support again at 1510. So yeah, this is a great time to buy NU, I would say, in my opinion, because it's only going to build a base higher than this now. Yeah, I like this. This is a good looking chart, though I'd love to see more institutional buying again. But maybe it's just waiting a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see what it looks like on the 8-hour chart.
I mean, my target is once it's back above like 13, I think, then it can go much higher. But in the meantime, it might just be ranging for a little bit.
Yep, that's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
All right, and you done.
Okay. Do you have a Gevo, right? Yeah. You were talking about Gevo, or
oh yeah. I was talking about GVO this morning.
Yeah.
Just before the show. I was excited because I actually, for a change, I built in ahead of time this patience. I think on the 8-hour chart, this buy zone. It's like, look, I know it wants to go to 376, but instead of buying, when it was 278 and buying when it was $3, because I know it's going to go to 376, I said, well, wait, before I can get there, it's probably going to have to build a base on top of the 382 again, because it really didn't do it underneath the 382. So it's going to do it on top of the 382, or maybe get below it. And you can see right here on the 8-hour chart, you've got the conversion line and the baseline stacked just underneath the 382. So maybe price will fall into it. And then so my buy order is in this patience buy zone, kind of right in the middle here. Before it then goes higher to 376, makes 250. Gets support finally, and then starts to go into the real wave 3 all the way up to 575. So Gevo looks pretty sweet from here. Just be patient and try to acquire it between 270 and 221 for these higher targets. Like, yeah. Take your screenshot if you will. Gevo.
All right, I see a request for Meta, and I'll do a Meta chart. So Meta is 629 pre-market, right? So we can see that it is basically flat, and here's my weekly chart. So it's basically been just trending higher and higher and higher throughout time, and the next level of the GAN is up there at 645, 646, and that kind of coincides this week where that angle or that arc is up top. So I can see maybe price gravitating there this week. right? It is a very good possibility to just drift higher and higher and higher and higher and get rejected by that resistance, and then maybe get a little bit of consolidation before trying to break through that. So that is kind of my target for Meta. It is approaching that resistance, so just be a little bit cautious there. And the 573 it was defended before, right? So is it necessary to go back down there? Not really, but it could, right? It could go back down to 573 completely, or at least the conversion line at 593. 593. So bullish chart, but it is approaching some resistance on my chart. So just be a little bit cautious there. But once it breaks that level, then I think 707 is going to be the next target.
Ooh, 707. That's nice. My target's a little different. Maybe I should revisit my chart. Here's my meta chart. If you'll pop it up just briefly. Yeah, so I see us, it's still in a wave 3, and it wants to go, my chart says it wants to go for this 1618 to 679 next, and then might get a test back to the 123.6 at 540, which is pretty different from what Matt's got. Like I said, I might have to revisit my chart, but then eventually my wave 5 target is this 2618 appeared on $1,045. We don't talk about Meta a lot. It's not that sexy compared to other charts. Like the gains to this wave 3 top is like, oh, another 14%, woohoo! And then to get from where price is now to the wave 5 top is just like another 63%. And it just, there's other places that you can get more percentages. It's a great, it's a fine stock to hold, own and hold, but it's just not sexy, and they don't even pay a dividend or anything. So.
But I can see your
That's what we're
679.
talking about a lot.
Like, because my level of my GAN is like 645, 646. I could see a wick up to your 679, and then maybe just a rejection there. So I could see that happening.
All right, well, cool. That's my current TA says. Oh, it was a short one too, so this would be a pretty long wave 4 too. Maybe I don't have this quite right. It might take longer than this. Anyway, here we go. It's the slow boat to profits. What is MAGS? Is that a stock, or is that a?
Yeah, I think so.
Round. Oh, right, this one, the Magnificent Seven. I feel like I just talked about this. My TA says it's hit its limit on the wave 1 top. So I don't. That's so weird, because I wonder about that, because it feels like all the tech stocks want to keep going higher, yet this thing seems like it's topping out and wants to test back down lower again. I don't know. I don't know about this thing. How could I be wrong? You know, the problem is it just doesn't have as much history. It goes into 2023. That's a very clear one too. I don't know.
I think it's
my TA says to not expect great things out of it.
Yeah, it's really a young chart, so it's not my favorite thing to chart, but it looks still kind of bullish to me. It's that it really wants to maybe go higher to sideways, maybe a bit longer.
Yeah, it's a bullish chart for sure. It's just my TA says time to retrace some. So for whatever reason, unless I don't know, I suppose sometimes they go to 100% and then back to 50. So let's just give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's say it goes 100, then back to 50, then to the 150, then back to 123.6, and then on up to 250. So here you can maybe it does that. I really don't. I don't have a lot of data to go on this. Yeah. It's got bullish on the MCDX plus for the 8-hour chart. So yeah, it's probably gotta go higher.
I actually wanted to do one more. I wanted to do Palantir before we go.
Oh yes, Palantir.
So Palantir.
People have been talking about Palantir. Why is it pulling back, Matt? Why is it crashing?
So on my weekly updates that I do, the video updates, I talk about Palantir and Tesla every week, right? And I was saying like 78 has this potential right here, 78.13, it still has the potential to hold as support, because every single week, really, it wicked below this level and then kind of closed back above, right? You can see for the past 3 weeks in a row, it's been holding this 78.13. So I'm really waiting for the weekly candle close to see if this week will actually close back above that level again as well. So if it does, then this could be building a base at a higher level and go higher. But if not, then it's okay as well, because I also mentioned that this 69.15 level below is still your support, right? This is still your support. After it broke out, it back tested it once. So a back test of twice would be also very normal. Not only that, when you put on the monthly chart and you use the monthly Bollinger Bands, these are Cat's favorites. And we can see this, the top of that band is exactly where the 1.618 is as well. Well, pretty close to it, 68.87. And it's still month over month, it's riding this Bollinger Band as support, right? You can see ever since it broke out here in August of 2024, it's been riding as support. So a back test of that as support would be perfectly normal for a continuation higher. So I've been seeing so many posts out there and acts like, oh, it's going to go back to 50, it's going to go to 40 or 30s. I'm like, really, guys? Really? I think you guys need to reassess some TA here, because there is so much support below. And the 69, even like a wick through, I think is probably your max pain scenario if you're seeing this as a buying opportunity. Perhaps I think people out there, they're overly bearish and they don't understand momentum. And right now, the momentum on this Palantir chart is very, very strong and powerful. So
D&W says that the Trajectory trajectory looks really good to me.
Yeah. Trajectory. I got it. I can say that word now. I learned how over.
Hey, I've got a Palantir chart.
All right, go.
I want to share my Palantir chart too,
All right.
because it goes well with yours. So, Palantir, I said, well, look, this chart's gotten bigger. It's got to grow. Where's the 1-2? It was pretty clear for me. I wanted to start my wave start down here at this $21.23 level with this dip down. But then, like, where does it pull back enough to count as a 1-2? Is this my 1-2? It was for a little while. Maybe this is my 1-2, and it was for a little while. Then we got this one with a really nice wick up and a wick down. I said, okay, that's my 1-2. So all the way from $21.23 to $82 and then back to 68, that is my wave 1-2, which gives me these fib extensions. And just like Matt was saying, it would be really positive for it to come back down and retest near the 68 level, because look, because of that wave 2, it could be an extended wider flat. It's already been doing kind of an extended wider so far. It's been making higher highs and higher lows. If it does touch this 8-hour moving average 75 here, about 71.01, that'd be like the bottom of this Ichimoku cloud, and that'd be fine for it to just find the support there. That would give it a double bottom with one of these two wicks right there. And then on up to the 764 for $114, back to the 382 for $91, on to the 1382 for $151, back to $130, and up to $211.70. So Palantir, it's just really hard for me to find a good 1-2, but that was the best I could do. It really just feels like it's in just a trajectory up, and this is about the best I can see right now. So we'll see what happens after 114, if it gets kicked back to 91 or not. But that's my Palantir chart. I think it goes really nicely with Matt's Gann chart there. All right.
I think that's all the time we have for today. But yeah, just things are back at support, a lot of them, and especially like Tesla's in the support zone. Palantir maybe has a little bit more to go. Other things are at kind of a resistance right now too. Like Meta is approaching a resistance, IWM is approaching a resistance too. So just give it time, right? I think it's a bullish structure. It's all part of the process before things go higher.
Yeah. That last question about Gevo, would you put a stop loss under $2? No, I buy more at $2. Look at all the whale participation. They want this. They're buying it because they know they're going to be able to push this higher. Buy it. Not financial advice. Buy it. Okay. Matt, I can't wait to see you at the show tonight. I'm
Yeah,
super
we'll see
excited.
you guys at 7:30 Eastern time tonight.
Yep, yep. All right, good luck out there today. I'm
All right,
hoping
guys.
for
Have a good
another
one.
continuation green day overall.
Yeah.
Yep. All right,
All
take
right. Have
care.
a good one. Bye bye.